So here we are code sculptor, and here's the code of the game that we had seen. First of all, I had here an interval that initializing 100. You must guess what is that for. And I had a tenth that initialized in 600. And I had these global variables here. I had set for default a blue cable equals 0, a red cable equals 1, a green cable equals 2. Now we're gonna see why. So here we have another global variables that are used in the game for the bond verification that tells me if the cable that you choose is the one that explodes, or the cable that you choose is the one that accelerates the bomb, or the cable that you choose is the one that stops the bomb. I had a cable set. We see how this works in a minute. I had another condition here, and I had here these flag conditions for the drawing in the game. So the start flag is made for the first part of the game when the game begins. The kaboom is when I choose the cable that explodes or the bomb comes to 0. It puts this flag condition in true. So as you will see later, it showed me the image of the explosion. And say the day is if I win the game, and I had a flat condition to accelerate time, that is for the bomb when I click a button that accelerate the bomb by minus 10 seconds. Here at this part of the code I had the function format, and I had this function hidden because this function is exactly the same function that is used for the third assignment. When I download this code, you will realize that this code won't work without this function. And the basic idea of this is that if you implement the third assignment for this week and implement the function format, this same function will help you to run this code. So to give you a hint for this week, remember that in the first video that I made explaining about the math functions, I told you about the use of a math function called math.floor. Maybe you can take a look about that, and that's the only thing that I'm gonna say about that. Then I have a function called setCables. That this function setCables is what makes the logic of the buttons. Here what I do is to make a random function on of the cables and choose a number between the same number choose for the blue, red and green cable, and set here for a cable that explodes, a cable that accelerates, and cable that stops. It implements this while here. So this while here is to verify in this if conditions that all the cables sets will be different. In order that all the buttons in the frame make a different function. Then I had a bond verification. In the bond verification, what I do is play with flag conditions. So what I do is to choose if the cable type that it sends via parameter is equal cable explodes. What I had to do is set all the flat conditions in false except the cable. In the second, what I'm gonna do is this comes by 10 seconds my bomb, and again I will do a flag condition, but this time the flag condition that I choose true is the accelerate time. And in the last case I play with flag conditions again but the flat condition choose is say the day, because the time or condition that is choose here is if the cable type that comes via parameter equal cable stop, is because I was able to stop the bomb. Here I had my start and reset, that is for the time, and in the event handlers I have three functions: the check red one, check blue one, and check green one. What basically they do is to make a bomb verification, sending via parameter the cable type that calls the function that we have over here. So what I do is to define a function for each event handler, but for the verification I call the same function. That's made my code more simple. And here in the draw, here's where the draw logic is implemented. As you see, what we had here in the draw is an implementation that says, that choose every flat conditions and depends of the Boolean condition that we choose in the bomb verification, it will draw something different. So it star equal true, he will draw what you see here, and you see we had the use of the draw line, draw polygon, draw text. Here, if that flat is not true, it will ask for kaboom, and if that flat is not true, it will ask for say the day and draw something different. And if that one isn't true again, finally he will ask for this one and draw what is inside. Look up in the bomb verification function. What we do is to play with all the flat conditions and put all the flat conditions in false except the one that we want to be in true. That implementation makes easy for us that independent of what order has the if condition, always the code for the flat condition that is true will be draw. So as you already must notice, this function calls every time in a infinite loop in the code when we set the handle. So finally, what we had here is the register bands and some declarations for the use on image. So what I tell you is to take a look. I will put the code for you to make more understandable. This is what I had for today. So this is the end of the lesson. Have fun with the coding.